right, so our first story of the day is The Rock's movie career, which I think is laughable at best. He's in the new movie Journey 2, which is supposed to be Journey to the Center of the Earth Part 2. Joe, you saw the trailer for that, right?
Yeah, Journey to the Mysterious Island. Yep. Looks I actually think it looks cool. I don't think it kind of looks more like Spy Kids. Maybe the first two Spy Kids. So that type of CGI generated thing. I think it'll make for great family fun, and I think that's where The Rock is headed, or Dwayne Johnson, doing a lot of family friendly movies. But I don't know.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned him doing family-friendly movies because he did the Tooth Fairy, the one with the kid that was his daughter. What was that called?
Game Plan. That's it. The Game Plan.
The Game Plan, and then he did Journey to Witch Mountain. But the problem is that The Rock.
And I like.
Go
And
ahead.
I like that. It was Race to Witch Mountain was pretty cool. I thought
Yeah.
it was. I grew up on that on a Disney flick side. So
Anime fans out there, Akira has been given the green light, and they're currently building up the, I guess, the acting cred to the movie. Little known fact is that Akira has been trying to be made a movie since the early 2000s. Back in the day, the role of Tetsuo was supposed to go to Leonardo DiCaprio, but that role has since been gone. There was talks that Steven Spielberg was also going to buy rights to this movie. Don't know if that panned out. Basically, it's the next step, basically, the next logical step. You remade television shows into movies. You're now making comic books into movies. The next genre to go is anime, and they're also doing board games into movies. So why not anime? Akira. They say in order to prove how real they are, they're actually going to Kristen Stewart, the lead female actress in the Twilight series, to play the lead female role in the movie. I'm surprised because the entire Akira movie, there really wasn't a real female lead. But you saw Akira growing up, didn't you? Didn't you?
yeah, I saw it, and I mean honestly, I'm trying to think. Like, I've seen a lot of animes done, or even video games done into movies, and Akira, it probably makes sense that they would want to make that into a big blockbuster movie, except that it is, I mean, just for the anime, it was a spectacular movie in itself. So to be able to make this into a blockbuster is going to cost about, I don't know, $1 trillion to make a decent Akira movie. I wasn't crazy about the movie. I mean, I watched it because it visually is stunning. There's a lot of stuff going on in that movie. Animes in general are visually stunning, but this one was like by far the best. The story is, I don't know if anybody knows about, this kid who's a biker, and, somehow it develops some kind of psionic mental abilities and stuff like that, and then he just goes nuts. So, I mean, we'll see how many people go to see it.
The television front, the show Community has been put on the bench. That is a term meaning that you might have filmed, let's say, all of season 3, but the first half of season 3 is going to film or be aired, let's say, the beginning of the year, and then the second half of season 3 be aired in the summer. Basically giving you like a hiatus so some other show can take your time slot. What's going on is that 30 Rock is going to be put at the time slot that Community's on, and the Community is going to be put on the bench till sometime later on next year. I take this as a kiss of death. NBC, I don't know of this to be so with other companies, so forgive me if I make a mistake, but NBC is known for putting shows on the bench. Scrubs was put on the bench. The show Joey was put on the bench. Just Shoot Me was put on the bench. And it seems like once those shows were put on the bench, they were basically circling the drain. But what do you think about this whole benching technique?
Actually, I mean, that basically sounds exactly what they're doing. Is they're getting ready to cut it. It's like the final death stroke. I honestly have never watched Community. I think maybe one episode. I do like one of the actors on that show. What's his name? Donald Glover.
Yeah.
And if they're going to make a television series, they should probably go with the Mystery Team, because that is by far one of the funniest movies I've seen. And that's the only thing I saw with that guy and Donald Glover. Otherwise, yeah, I think, Community really, I don't know. Do they even advertise that show? Because I hardly ever see it on television. So
They used to advertise it a lot back in the day. During the time when Scrubs was coming up and leaving, Community was actually coming in the door, and it was supposed to be. I think it was The Office, Community, Scrubs, and then something else. I can't remember later on the night. And I think something about Earl. Uh, was in there in that mix too, or 30 Rock. I can't recall. It's been so long ago. To give you a Scrubs backstory, though.
oh my.
Uh, hmm?
No, that's just you said. My name is Earl or something like that.
My name is Earl. That's his name.
Yeah.
My name is Earl. To give you the Scrubs background, Scrubs actually was very popular for the first couple of years. Then they kind of did a half-season bench thing or whatever, and then the writer's strike happened. So what they did was they ended up continuing to play the episodes. Then the writer's strike happened, and I think, and my Scrub fans are going to hate me for not knowing this back off the top of my head, I think it's season 5 was the shortest season. Most seasons got 25 to 26 episodes. 26 would be if you had like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas special. But the 5th season only had 17 because NBC actually said, hey, we understand there was a writer's strike, but we're not going to give you those extra episodes. And because of that, they did a quote-unquote preemptive canceling of the show on NBC. ABC picked it up for one full season of the original cast, and then the original cast left, and then they started Scrubs College Edition, basically, and that show was canceled, like, within the first season. So it's not to say Community would go away. I mean, ABC, CBS, somebody else can pick it up.
I just heard is Doctor Who is going to be made into a movie, a big budget action movie, hopefully. I know you're a big Doctor Who fan.
I do not.
But I am, so, I would say not, maybe up to the recent 9th Doctor Who, which was played by Christopher Eccleston, I believe his name is. He was by far my favorite Doctor Who. Watched the series on Netflix, great show. Then I think they changed, they always change Doctor Who's after so many seasons, so they end up changing him for another Doctor Who. I believe that guy is Matt Smith. He's the current Doctor. Before that was David Tennant. But the series, I'm actually surprised that they've never done a Doctor Who movie like on the screen before. I mean, they've done a lot of adaptations before. Why not Doctor Who, which is probably your longest running television series ever? So, and probably the British superhero of all British superheroes, if you want to call that. So I don't know if much people know about Doctor Who. He's like a Time Lord from a different planet or something like that, who travels around in this phone booth. I mean, everybody should know something of Doctor Who. I mean, we all grew up with him. If you had Channel 2, you couldn't miss Doctor Who. So, I don't know, but from what I've been told, they're still casting for it. But the surprising thing is that the director of the last, I believe, 4 Harry Potter movies is going to be, what's his name, David Yates, is going to be directing this. So, it's interesting, since he's just jumped off of a sort of a UK movie to do another big star of the UK being Doctor Who. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it turns out to be pretty good and they put a little money behind it. British films always turn out to be better than American. Oops, did I just say that out loud? But we shall see. I'm looking forward to it though.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of Doctor Who. I've seen a couple episodes. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just one of those things I don't tune in. But yeah,
if you watch Top Gear, that's the funny thing is.
Yeah, that's the funny thing that we're going to be moving into our next segment, which is our Netflix quick picks. And my quick pick is Top Gear. Thank you very much, Joe, for leading in. I've been a fan of Top Gear for years. I mean, before the Top Gear that we all know and love. Jeremy Clarkson is the original one of the original Top Gear presenters from the original show from way back in the 70s and in the 80s. People don't realize the show's been around for just forever. And what the show was about originally was just people saying, oh, I want to know if this car is good. Oh, I'll drive it and I'll tell you. But recently, the show has transformed as of the year 2000 to become a show that's full of comedy and jokes and making fun of cars and things of that nature. They didn't really do that too much. I remember back in the 90s, Jeremy Clarkson did a video called How to Kill a Porsche, and he was talking about how much he doesn't like Porsches, and he kept like crashing it and wrecking it and hitting it with stuff, but it would never stop running. And that segment was hilarious to me, but then the show went back to being boring again. And then now with this new show, or the newer version of Top Gear with Richard Hammond, Jeremy Clarkson, and James May, the show is just phenomenal. Little thing that you might not know about the show, Joe, because you're not really a fan, but each one of these guys have their own following. For Christmas, one of them comes out with some sort of DVD. James May, he might be the most boringest person on the show, but he has a very interesting life. He does so many interesting things about how to make how things are being made. He actually has a DVD that came out to make children love toys again. Like, you know those little model kits that you used to buy and you would glue things together to make like a car or an airplane?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and on
Never
the
did it, but...
Yeah, but on the side of the box it says this is a 1 to 28 scale, or this is a 1 to 50 scale. He made a 1-to-1 scale Spitfire plane with a bunch of kids and massive things of glue and paint, and I was just like, I'm amazed. And then Richard Hammond came out with a DVD called How to Be a Top Gear Presenter, and then Jeremy Clarkson he does every type of movie. Jeremy Clarkson, if you did watch a movie, Jeremy Clarkson, James May, by far the most entertaining. Richard Hammond, not so much. I have no knock against it. I have your book. I've read it cover to cover, but it's not...
You read his book? Wow. Yeah, since we're on the whole British theme topic here, especially going from Doctor Who to Top Gear, I'm going to have to say Merlin is a British television series on Netflix, which I started watching a couple years ago. The Netflix thankfully introduced us to it, and it's become our favorite show. We actually sit down family night on Sundays and get ready to watch Merlin. It's kind of almost like a spin-off, or how they did Smallville, where they reinvented the whole Superman, Superboy mythos. They did the same thing with Merlin, and basically it starts off as this young guy coming into the King Arthur's castle, or the whole that realm and so forth, and basically growing up, becoming friends with Arthur before he actually became a king. He was actually a prince, and his dad, Uther Pendragon, was the king at the time. So it's funny thing is, his dad on that series was played by Anthony Head, who is from the Buffy the Vampire series. So it's this guy. You're all hoping that sooner or later that Uther dies, so that Prince Arthur could become King Arthur, and they can start off the whole Merlin, the Arthurian legends and so forth. But I mean, it's really a good show. If you're into fantasy, you'll like it. If fantasy in medieval times, it kind of takes a few liberties on the legend, and they may make a few exaggerated changes and so forth. But overall, it's great. There's a dragon, one of the last dragons, because King Arthur's, or Prince Arthur's dad.
Wait, you're saying there's a last dragon in this thing? So Bruce Leroy?
There's a Bruce Lee. He's got the glow. Yeah, that's played by John Hurt, actually. His voice. So it does a voiceover for that. So yeah, it's a pretty good series. I really enjoy it. A lot of entertainment. It's on the 4th series now, so which hasn't actually made it to Netflix yet. They're up to, I think, the 3rd series. But it's doing pretty well. I think if you're into fantasy, you might want to check it out.
We plan on doing this once a week. It might not be both me and Joe. We might be alternating out different characters, but the show will be the same. So until next time, this is Odian saying goodbye. Joe, like any parting words?
Talk to you later.
All right. Have a good one, guys, and bye-bye.